A case that genuinely surprised me. I thought this was gonna be just another black case, but the more I built in this case, the more I got just how much care and thought went into the BeQuiet Shadow Base 800DX. This $1,800 build we did in this case not only showcased just how good this case is as we built in it, but also just what this case is capable of. Let's check out a build and see just what I'm talking about. By the way, if you like seeing builds in the latest cases just as they're released with all the latest and greatest hardware, make sure you like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on builds and videos just like this one. Now, let's build. Guys, we're building the BeQuiet. We haven't done a build in a BeQuiet case in a really long time. Huge shout out to Kevin and the team at BeQuiet. We're checking out the 800DX today. And we're gonna use their new air cooler as well. So it's gonna be an air-cooled build. We're gonna try and air cool a 7800X3D. So let's talk about parts list. Here it is right here. Guys, we are using the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. We're using the Asus TUF Gaming B650 Plus Wi-Fi. For our graphics card, the Asus TUF Gaming Radeon RX 7800 XT. We've got the Samsung 980 Pro, a 2TB NVMe version. We got G.Skill Triton Z5 Neo RGB 32 gigs at 6,000 mega transfer. The BeQuiet Shadow Base 800DX case. We've got the BeQuiet Dark Rock Elite, the brand new cooler from BeQuiet, so we're gonna be checking that out. And then finally, we've got the BeQuiet Pure Power 12M 850 watt 80 plus gold PSU. You know the best thing about this PC though? It's $1,800, guys. That is a dang good price for a 7800X3D RX 7800 XT build. Especially like this, and it's still gonna have some RGB. You could change this all to all black if you wanted to and just have a smoked out build, and you know it's gonna be in a great case. Okay, well let's start putting our Mobo together. And by the way, huge shout out to Asus, right? Because we're using all tough stuff today. Okay, here we go. Let's pop this open. We're putting in our Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Okay, CPU is in. Little pop there. Okay, here we go, guys. Is it 96? Oh, that was really bad. That was like very hard to push in. That was like 70. Let's try that again. This one's gonna do it. 96 exactly. Dude, we almost did not get that. Throwing our 980 Pro. Like I said, I was trying to do, guys, we've created more variety, doing some more. I added more NVMEs. As much as I love Kingston, I was like, you know what, I need to start throwing some other options in here. So I got some Kingston, some G.Skill. Okay, so we have NVMe in, we have storage in, we have G.Skill in. It's time to do our new cooler. Their new one, the Dark Rock Elite. It's a 280 watt TDP. So this should be fine, right? This should be able to cool it. And we've got light wings, the 140 millimeter light wings for it. So that should feed it lots of air. So I've been excited to finally get to check this out. And guess what, guys? It comes with look at that. It comes with a BeQuiet screwdriver. All right, so checking this out here, like this comes off. And then there's all the screws and stuff. Whoa. Okay, so there's the middle fan. Okay, check it out. Here's the middle fan, check it out. Look at that. So this is the middle fan is all shaped like, and it's got some extra stuff in there to take out. And then the front fan is actually mounted permanently here. Wow, they actually made that really easy to just sit there. I like it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on. This is pretty straightforward. It just pops right over this. Really easy, and it literally clicks in. It's time to grab our case now, get it prepped, but there is our motherboard with everything it needs. I'm excited to see what performance is like on this, thermal performance is like on that. It's gonna be good. Okay, here we go, case time. Okay, so we got that, that's off. Let's pull off our front. This is what he was talking about. You'll see it here in a minute. Wow, look at the side. Okay, that comes off easily, beautiful. And then you've got these, look at that dust filter. On this version of the case, you get a single, man, that rail is solid. Single 140 millimeter fan. And then in the back, you get a single 140 millimeter fan. And at the top, you you get a 120 millimeter fan, and that's kind of it. Oh no, man, that's a 142. So you get 3 140s, but really what you would do is you'd remove this and pop it into the front. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna replace all the front fans. Okay, so let's pull the back off. Oh, and then there you go. There's that thick BeQuiet padding to keep things quiet. There we go. Okay, finally got to this. That was a lot of work to remove that fan. Okay, there we go. One fan out. Okay, so here's all of the fans we are gonna remove are out now. Now we're gonna do, guys, got RGB fans. That's where all the fun is. So now we have all the we have all the fans we need, including, and we have our knife, which is good. Let's just get our front fans mounted, and then we'll worry about the rest here in a bit. Okay, one in. Okay, cool. Okay, that looks good. It can actually be a little bit easier to do this way. No, that was the right call. There you go. So that's how it looks compared to what the mess it was. It looks nice and clean, right? It looks good enough to be German engineered. That's my goal. And even the top looks nice and clean now. Time to throw it into the build. There we go. There is the build as it stands. All we got to do now is some cable management. Some cable extensions and our GPU, and we're done. There we go. Nice clean look there, right there. Okay, guys, we're on to GPU. That's it. GPU and PSU, and then this build is done. Okay, here we go, guys. Our very smallish. I know we're used to like giant GPUs, but this one's not too bad. Much more reasonable. Easy to install the PSU because it's one of those framed ones. What I haven't smelled it, so I don't know how this is gonna taste. I mean, how it's gonna smell, sorry, not taste. Okay, let's see how this smells. Not so bad, not too stinky. Low on the stink level. PSU done. Wow, those are really easy to get in. There we go. Let's get this case put back together now. Okay, build is done. Looks good. There you go. Very, very clean. And there it is, guys. The completed 800DX build. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I see lights. So, kicking things off, I do want to say that by the time we were finished with all of the fan replacements of the Silent Wing 3s that came with the DX version of this, what we essentially turned this into was the 800FX, not the 800DX. So I don't know if this is like, if you're thinking about doing the 800DX, then all you gotta do is just keep the fans. But knowing I was going to be doing an air-cooled build in this case, I knew I wanted to at least have 3 140mm fans in the front to ensure we fed the BeQuiet Dark Rocket Elite air cooler with more than enough airflow. Speaking of airflow, let's kick things off first with our handy dandy visualization and smoke test. For intake, we're intaking via 3 140mm fans, which then feed that beautiful BeQuiet Dark Rock Elite air cooler. And then everything goes out through a single Lightwing 140mm fan in the rear. In this case, we have a more positive pressure case situation than I normally like, but you will see that in temps, it wasn't actually all that concerning. Now, if you wanted to get a more balanced configuration, you could add an additional 140mm exhaust fan right up back here, right next to the air cooler. That would improve temps slightly. Now, one thing that is a plus of the configuration we did choose is that you should see less dust buildup in this black case with the current airflow configuration we have, and that's one of the benefits of positive pressure. Now, before jumping into thermals, let's review what we have inside of this build by taking a look at the parts list, which you're seeing right here. What we have is an epic and rather inexpensive 1440p build powered by the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D and the beautifully priced Asus TUF RX 7800 XT. Now, this combination is killer for gaming, but you will see some limitations in workspace applications just given how the X3D chips work. Just something to be aware of. This air cooler should be able to handle either a 7900 X3D or a 7950 X3D given its 250 watt TDP limit, but an AIO, if you wanted to upgrade to do more workspace stuff, should be a better choice here. Now on to thermals. What we see is that the Dark Rock Elite had no issues keeping things cool on the 7800 X3D with the CPU load temps averaging out at 82 degrees Celsius and the RX 7800 XT averaging out at 52 degrees Celsius. For gaming temps, it was even better with an average of 61 degrees on our CPU. As expected, the GPU was similar to our GPU load temps at 53 degrees. Now, before jumping into gameplay performance, a bit about building in this case. It's awesome. Actually, it's super straightforward. There's a lot of flexibility here, and every time I hit a little hiccup, like not being able to get to the screws for the front fans, I learned that there was a workaround that could get it done. There are a lot of tie-down locations, and I love just how easy it was to build and integrate the RGB controller into the SSD mount on the back. Cable management was pretty breezy, and we have lots of room to work around the back of the case. We were able to do something that was beautiful in this case in a shorter amount of time, and really have it look really good. So all in all, the build experience in this case matches the thermal performance, which is solid in both cases. So with the solid build experience and thermal performance, how did things do in the gameplay performance arena, especially for only costing $1,800? Kicking things off with Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p with ray tracing on Ultra and FSR 2.1 set to auto, we saw Cyberpunk 2077 sitting at just shy of 60 FPS. Given this is a ray traced heavy title and very NVIDIA focused, 60 FPS is good for an AMD GPU with Cyberpunk 2077. And dropping ray tracing to medium should get you a consistently north of 60 FPS for your entire gameplay experience without a significant visual drop. For Starfield, running at the highest graphical preset at 1440p and FSR set to auto, we saw 100 FPS on average while both in space and running around planets and stations. Next up, we have Forza Horizon 5, again at 1440p with graphics set to extreme, FSR 2.2 set to auto, we saw 142 frames per second. For Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, again at 1440p, extreme graphics, FSR 2.1 set to balance, we're sitting at 190 frames per second for single player campaign. Unfortunately, when I did my stream testing, it was when Modern Warfare 3 came out, so we did not test multiplayer, but for future videos, don't worry, we'll have the MP numbers in there as well. For Shadow of the Tomb Raider 1440p with highest graphical preset in XeSS set to balance, you're looking at 178 FPS. Remember, there is no FSR here, and Intel is also GPU agnostic, so yay for Intel helping out AMD. Finally, rounding out our single player games, we have Tiny Tina's Wonderland with graphics set to badass and FSR 2.0 set to balance. We saw 164 FPS. For MP titles, we kick it off with Apex Legends. Again, graphics maximized for competitive gameplay, maximizing frames per second. We saw 293 FPS at 1440p. Finally, Fortnite, again, competitive gameplay, maximizing frame rate. We had an almost completely unplayable, can't believe it was this low, 360 FPS. Boo! So for $1,800, you can get a good build experience, check. Good thermal performance, check. Great visually looking build, check. And great gameplay performance, check. Where you might be lacking, and this is dependent on how much workstation level work you're going to be doing, is rendering, hardcore CPU tasks like 3D work, CAD, etc. But if it's gaming, then for this price, this is a hard build to beat. But enough about what I think. What do you think? What do you think of this build? Were you surprised at the performance given the cost? And would you change anything? And is it quiet enough for you? Shh, be quiet. Let us know down in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, make sure you slap that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring that notification bell so you get a notification when we post videos like this right here on Robeytech. Also, if you have questions or want to discuss builds or talk about the cases, you should join our Discord server over at discord.gg/Robeytech. Who knows? You might make a friend. Also, feel free to follow us on all the other channels at Robeytech, absolutely everywhere. Thank you so much. That's it for me, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.